to start by changing the points and the condenser and the distributor. The old ones were corroded so bad I didn't want to try to have to clean them and mess with them, so I just went ahead and put gonna put a new cap and rotor on it. We'll go ahead and pull the plugs out. They were coated in oil, so they definitely needed to be changed. Put new ones in, and then we're gonna build out the wires and see if we can get it to run. I thought it was the choke, but it's not the choke. It's the vent and the side of it.
Ready?
Yep. Alright, we're working on the Falcon again today. I got the valve cover off. It looks pretty bad. A lot of built up oil. Everything moves, all the valves, valve train, rocker arms, everything's going up and down like it's supposed to. I'm a little concerned because you can push and decompress the lifters, but it hasn't ran yet, so it hasn't had enough time to build oil pressure up in the lifters or anything. So I'm hoping once, if we can get it to fire up, it'll build oil pressure and kind of prime the lifters back up. I'm going to pull the old carburetor off. We actually got it's new old stock. It's never been on anything. Same carburetor that's on it. So we're gonna pull the old one off, throw that one on, and I got a battery charging. So hopefully with a fresh battery and a good carburetor, maybe we can get it to bust off, but let's see. So I ended up having to pull the cap back off, pull the rotor off. I wanted to check the gap on the points. It ended up being close, but I went ahead and readjusted them anyway, just to make sure. Alright, we got the new carburetor on it. The battery's just gonna have to sit on charge for a while longer. It's just not charged enough to spin it over. And I can't find my jumper cables. So we will try this again later. So I'm gonna let the battery sit there and charge overnight. We'll see what it does tomorrow. Alright, so it's still not spinning over fast enough, so I went and got a new starter, new battery cables, new starter solenoid. I'm about to change all that now. I've already pulled the old wires off. I just gotta pull the old starter off, put the new one on, then build out the new cables and all. And hopefully after that, then it'll spin over fast enough to actually try to crank. So let's see what we can get done. Alright, we got the new starter down in there. About to put the battery in it. It's just gonna sit down in there. And put starter solenoid on and then put all the wires back up. So now I'm just going to tighten up battery cable ends here. So we got new starter on, new carburetor, pretty much all new. Cap, rotor, points, condenser, plugs, wires, a new ignition coil, battery, starter solenoid. I'm hoping maybe we can get it to bust off this time. If not, then I'm gonna have to start checking, making sure the coil is firing. It sounds like it is, but I don't know. I haven't verified for sure. But let's see what happens. Definitely spin it over faster. Let's see if we can put a little bit of gas in it and see what happens. Where'd the gas go? Well, it run. She did fire up. Sound like it got a little ticking. But it seems we have oil pressure because for the most part the lifter's primed back up. So that's good to know. It was idled up a little bit. I'm assuming that's because I haven't adjusted the idle. Not 100% sure how. I have to figure that out. But it does run, so that's something. We at least got something to start with now. So let's see if we can get it to kind of fine tune it now and go from there. Alright, so I think I got it to where it'll idle. I'm gonna see if it'll crank to see if these lights stay on and go off or what. I may have to give it a little bit of gas. didn't hear idling. About to run out of gas. But that is awesome. So I think I'm gonna try to unload it now and maybe see if it'll go in gear. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, we're about to see if we can get it to move. Don't know if it will, but I'm gonna see. Gotta put it in park. It's trying to move. So it'll act like it's starting to back up, and then it just shuts the engine off. So something might be going on with the transmission. I mean, it's been sitting since '97. At this point, I'm surprised we've gotten this far. So I'll mess with the transmission some, check the fluid. I haven't even pulled a dipstick on it. Don't even know if it's got fluid in it. Let's see what it looks like. So I went and got some of the new old stock that I got hidden away. I got a fuel pump. I'm not 100% sure it's gonna work. It's technically for the 240 and the 300 inline 6, and this one that's in this car is the 200. So I'm not 100% sure. It looks very similar. I'm gonna try to get this one to work. I got some more fuel line. I'm gonna run line into a gas jug and spin it over and see if it'll pump gas, but I'm not very hopeful on that. Nothing else, maybe this one will bolt up and work. If not, I'll have to get an actual new one, but we'll see. And also got a wiper blade. Looks like, let's see, probably not gonna work on this one though, so I'll have to find some wiper blades for it. I just saw it laying there and wanted to try it. Let's see if I can get the fuel pump working. Awesome. Alright, well the fuel pump works, if you couldn't tell. So I need to finish cleaning that out. I guess I'm going to use the filter and the O-ring and all off the other one, because that one's not going to seal. And I'm sure that other filter should be a lot cleaner than what was in here. Alright, now I'm gonna prime the system, make sure it pumps all the way through, make sure there ain't no trash in the fuel line. Then we'll hook it up and And see if we can get it to stay running. Wait to hit the button until after the starter starts spinning, or you get that awful noise. There we go. So we got fuel. So we're just gonna start that line back in the carburetor. Apparently it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Here we go. Alright, so fuel line's on. I'm gonna try to put a little bit of water in it. I tell you what, actually, I got a wire that's broke off right here. Goes on the back of the alternator right there. I'm gonna try to go ahead and fix that wire, at least just stick it back on there and see if the alternator charges, and then put some water in it and see how that looks. Alright, so the whole stud and everything's turning, so I'm gonna just cheat for now. Just take and skin the wire back and just try to twist it around it and see. Yep, so we definitely got a radiator leak. Pretty bad one right there. Let's see if it'll crank up and stay running. So it'll crank up, run, idle. It's idling a little high, but the choke is also not hooked up. So it's supposed to have a line that goes from here down to the manifold down in there. So from here to down in there. Once we get that, then the choke will should actually work like it's supposed to. We gotta get a radiator fixed. The alternator seemed like it was trying to put power out. I don't know for sure. I don't know if any of the other gauges work. The oil light does go off when it cranks up, so it's got oil pressure, and it also, after I put some Marvel Mystery Oil in it, and it seems to be getting quieter, so that's awesome. I'm gonna pull the radiator off and see if maybe I can plug it to where maybe it'll hold some water, but I'm gonna have to break down and just get a new radiator. So we'll see what we can do until then. I'm gonna start pulling that off.
As I started pulling the radiator off, I decided that it was gonna be too much trouble right now, so I decided to put it back on and try to actually drive it.
Well, that was the first little successful drive in the yard. Backed it out of where it was under the lean-to, put it in drive, and she pulled forward, pulled from over there on the other side of the shop to right here under the carport, so, or right in front of the carport. I'm gonna maybe wash it and try to put some water in it, see if maybe the temperature gauge works on the dash. Let it come up to temperature. Just, it's gonna leak out of the radiator, but maybe the water pump's working, it'll flow through the engine, and maybe the temperature gauge works. Looks like the oil pressure gauge, or the light anyway, works. The alternator light, I'm assuming works. It was flashing on and off. Like I said, that wire is only twisted on there, so if I can get that wire actually fixed, maybe that'll be good. Maybe the alternator will work. I don't have any lights though. I don't know, I'm sure it's probably just a headlight switch. I'm gonna get a new headlight switch and a dimmer switch, put in it, and start with that. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to wash it. Just kind of do a little rough wash. The doors don't shut. I mean, that one don't shut, that one don't shut, and the back one on the other side doesn't shut. I gotta fix that, but I'm gonna spray it off, maybe scrub a little bit, maybe try to clean that windshield off, and go from there.